Hi, my name is Miss Doohan, and today I'll be demonstrating how to construct triangles using your set square, compass and your protractor. Let's begin with exercise 1. So in exercise 1 we're constructing a triangle using a compass. So what we know, the triangle is going to have sides of 70mm, 55mm and then another 55mm. So we know when two sides have the same measurement, it's going to be an isosceles triangle. So we're going to mark that in our keywords, isosceles triangle. Using my set square, I'm first of all going to mark off my 70mm base. So I do this by taking out my set square, marking from 0 to 7, which makes 70mm. Then I'm going to take my T-square and draw a level horizontal line. The next step I'm going to do then is label these points A and B just to keep me right. So labeling is very important in graphics. The next step is to swing the arcs of 55mm on each side. So I'm going to do this by marking off 55mm using my set square. Then I'm going to take my compass and measure this measurement. This measurement will now be swung from point A and from point B. So first of all, I'm going to begin by swinging from point A. I'm going to swing this roughly till it hits nearly the middle point. So again, I'm going to swing an arc from point A until it hits really in the middle between the 2 points. And using the same measurement, I'm going to swing where these two arcs 55mm. That is going to be the top of our triangle. So I'm going to label this here, another keyword is intersect, just to keep me right. So this just means where the 2 points meet. Now we're going to do the same thing from B. So the top of the triangle is called the apex. So the apex just means the top near the middle once again, and that's another keyword. So again, I'm going to highlight that this is the top. And then the last step then is just to connect the top of the triangles of the apex back to the points A and B. So we're going to do this by using a set square to ensure the line is going to be straight. So again, it's going to be a dark finished line. And again, the same thing to the opposite side. From the apex, we're going to connect the line back down to A. And it's going to be a heavy finished line. So that is how you construct a triangle using a compass. Now let's move on to exercise 2. So here we'll be constructing a triangle using a protractor. So have your protractors ready. So for this question, we know the base length of the triangle is going to be 70mm. And that we know the base has angles of 50 degrees and 60 degrees coming from both ends. So it doesn't matter which end the degrees are coming from, as long as it's either 50 or 60 degrees. So the first step we're going to do is using my set square, I'm going to draw the base length of 70mm. So again, mark it from 0 to 7 to make our 70mm. Then we're going to take our T-square and draw a dark finished line. The next step, you're going to need your protractors. So the first step we're going to do is from the first end of the line, so of the 70mm base, we're going to mark off 50 degrees using a protractor. So we do this by making sure the arrow of the protractor is level on your T-square and at the end of the line. And we're going to mark off our 50 degrees. So we do this by making a little dashed line, just to indicate it's our 50 degrees. Now, using the bottom of our protractor or our set square, we're going to connect that 60 degrees back to the beginning of the line, just to make sure the line is straight. The next step now is to draw our 60-degree line, and again we're going to use our protractor. So from the end point of that line, again we're going to make sure it's level with our T-square. We're going to mark off 60 degrees. And again, using the bottom of the protractor or your set square, we're going to join that 60-degree point we marked back to the corner of the triangle. So a corner of the triangle is called the vertex, so that's another keyword. So again, where the two lines overlap or intersect, that is going to be the top of our triangle, which is our apex. So this is not a necessary step, but if you wanted to find the missing angle, you would add 50 and the 60 degrees together, which is 110 degrees. Then we know the total area of a triangle is 180, so we minus 110 from 180, and that leaves us with 70 degrees. And that is our missing angle. Now let's move on to exercise 3, and here we'll be constructing triangles using set squares. Here we are asked to draw a base length of 80 millimeters and base angles of 45 degrees and 60 degrees. So here we know we can use our 45 degree set square and our 60-30 degree set square, and particularly the 60 degree side. So first of all, I'm going to begin by drawing my base, and again it's going to be 80 millimeters. So for this, I'm going to use my set square and mark off my 80 millimeters. Again, I'm going to use my T-square to draw a straight horizontal line. The next step, I'm going to begin by drawing my 45 degree line. And again, I'm going to use my 45 degree set square. So it doesn't matter what side I do it from. So I'm going to begin on the left hand side. So I'm going to label this A and label the other side B. So again, I'm going to line up my 45 degree set square at the point A and draw a light construction line. Next, I'm going to take my 60-30 set square, and particularly the 60 degree side, and again I'm going to line it up with point B and draw a construction line until it hits the 45 degree angle from A. And that is going to be the top of our triangle where them 2 points intersect. And that is our triangle constructed using both our set squares, so the 45 and the 60 degree set square.